Well, welcome back, everyone. But before we get into the movie stuff, I want to quickly talk about something that's been bothering me all day. It's the second time trying to explain this because I went offline last time. But, okay, I was sitting while my mom was in the doctor's office, and I was rolling up my window, and all I could think about was the numerous times I've closed my hand in a window as a child and in the door as a kid because it makes no sense. You have like a good 10 seconds to move your fingers, and this happened to me so often I wasn't that my mom wouldn't let me roll down windows as a kid. Like I had child's lock on all day, all night. I was not allowed to touch anything. But yeah, did it happen to you guys a lot?
It's happened to me quite frequently when I was younger. A lot.
On the other side.
Yeah, if you've seen the name on it, we
It
have a
happened
guest
to
with us
me.
today, everyone.
Yeah, it happened to me quite frequently when I was younger. Anything for you, Ryan?
I think it happened to me like once, but I slammed my fingers in a car door multiple times.
But again, like
That's much
how
easier to do,
fucking
though.
no, it's not.
It
Your
is.
hand has to be in the door.
No, I will tell you that when it happened to me, it was my mom's Honda Odyssey, the doors that shut slowly. So it's just as stupid, but hurts way more.
That's just fucking stupid. Cause you can see that. I mean, you can see a window closing
I
too.
was in like kindergarten.
Oh, I was in like third grade closing my finger in windows.
Yeah, you were a special
I was a
child.
special child, but I really do think that they've slowed down window speed. Cause like I'm sitting there practicing to see like how much time I have before it closed on my finger, and I was like, man, I am a dumb kid.
Yeah,
But
totally.
yeah, I just want to talk about that before we get started on the
It is
episode.
a traumatic experience when it does happen to you.
It is a traumatic experience.
I remember my first time that happened.
I remember my first time too.
Yeah, not a good time.
Are we still talking about windows? Or are we talking about other
Uh,
first times?
uh,
That
hey
joke
man,
didn't-
I'm the guest.
Neither of them lasted very long or were very good.
Nice.
I got you.
Nice.
But welcome
Wait
back.
for your mom to
Oh,
listen to this.
I know. She doesn't listen to my show. She doesn't care. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the best film and entertainment podcast out there. I'm Tommy Cresta, alongside me, Ryan Fran, and today we're here to talk about the 95th Annual Academy Awards and review the penultimate episode and the finale episode of The Last of Us.
You're just gonna skip over the guy that's right here?
No, it's in the outline. I'm getting
didn't
to it.
mention him. It's messed up.
Make sure to check out our show everywhere you find podcasts: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And before I ask Ryan how he's been, I have to introduce our guest of the episode, Anthony Russis. Did I say it right?
You did say it right.
Great.
Thank you.
How have you been doing, man?
Man, I'm excited to be here. A little nervous, but looking forward to,
I wrote a whole outline and I completely guessed your answer. And I wrote, I know you're a little nervous about coming on the show, but don't worry. It's only about 5,000 people listening that are going to judge what your opinions are.
nice.
So it's not that many.
No,
Me and Ryan.
I'm in a very professional setting right now. Yeah, it's just vibes are high right now. We're doing good.
Good, because I need someone else to talk to besides Ryan for
Yeah.
once. Okay, so Ryan, you did not watch the Oscars.
No, but I kept up with it. I had an essay to write. We both did. Yeah.
Busy night.
You could have had it on the background. I'm not judging you, Ant. I'm judging Ryan.
Yeah.
You could have had it on the background.
You should have seen me trying to write this essay. It was like 11. I just said fuck it and turned it in.
Really?
Yeah. It was all right. I proofread
I
it.
can't wait for your mom to listen to this.
I
episode.
proofread it and I was like, this is
You're like, this is good
this
enough.
is the best I can do.
No, it definitely wasn't.
It was good enough.
What do you think you got on it?
I think I got like an 80 something probably. High 80s.
High 80s.
Except I've had this teacher before and he gave me good grades on my essays pretty much all the time. So you might take some pity on me.
Is this the teacher they had to do the presentation for?
Which one?
The one where you had like a day to do it? But
Oh, no. That's a different
Different
class. Yeah.
I was
that
thinking
one
about that
sucked.
the other day. What'd you end up getting on that?
95.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you did good.
I did good.
You put like no time and
I
effort
put
in it.
zero effort into it and I
But you
somehow
got
got 95.
And then I argue with my teacher. I got a 71.
Yeah.
On an assignment I thought I did pretty well on. But they're not here to listen to us talk about our school. They don't care about our lives. They just want to hear us talk about film. So, last night was the biggest day in film in the world. It was the 95th Annual Academy Awards, which was hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. You guys didn't watch the show. He was very funny. Jimmy Kimmel, I think, killed it. His opening monologue was hilarious. He made a joke about the slap in which he pretty much told the actors. He told everyone that was there. He's like, if anything happens, if I get attacked, he's like, just do exactly what you guys did last year. Absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And then he also talked about if someone comes up and attacks someone, then they automatically win Best Actor and get to give a 19-minute speech. Which, if you didn't pay attention to last year's Oscars, Will Smith did slap Chris Rock. I feel like even if you didn't watch the Oscars, you know about that.
Mm-hmm.
But still got to bring it up a little bit. The Oscars moved at a really good pace. They cut down like 45 minutes from last year.
Yep.
I think they need to stop doing songs, like the live performances.
Did they
I think
do those?
Yeah, every song
Oh.
plays once
Huh.
for Best Original Song. Excuse me. And I think it should only be the winning song.
Yeah, that would cut down some time.
Cut down a lot of time. Cut down like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the donkey from Banshees of Inisherin made an appearance on stage. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That was a great donkey.
Maybe if you watch the goddamn fucking Oscars.
Maybe if you like the goddamn movie.
I did like the movie. I didn't love the movie. There's a difference.
I didn't watch the movie.
You didn't see Banshees?
No, I did not.
It's a
I
good
probably
movie.
should. It seems good.
It is. It's quite an enjoyable movie. I don't like it as much as Ryan did, but
I heard he said it's funny. It does not seem like a funny
it's not
movie.
funny.
It's not funny. I did say it was hilarious, which is wrong. It's not hilarious, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's really funny watching dude cut off his fingers.
Yeah.
How's
Really?
that funny? That's not a spoiler for the movie, I hope.
It's funny.
But
The way they do it is funny.
I would say nothing really crazy happened in the wind department. I feel like about everyone that was pretty much given a chance that could win it was going to win it. Hugh Grant made a really funny joke that he looks like a scrotum at one point.
That was
Pretty
funny.
good. And all around, I think it was probably one of the best Oscars in recent memory because the Oscars has hit like a real like plateau recently,
Yeah.
and they've kind of all been very mediocre. But I really enjoyed myself. And I want to give a quick thanks to the Philadelphia Film Society, which had me and our editor, Colin Gallagher, out to an event last night. Got to dress up all nice in suits. Colin outdressed me by far.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He was rocking a $500 suit. I was rocking a $10 jacket from Kohl's. I didn't wear a tie or anything.
Yeah,
I was trying to go for like the mob boss, trying to debt collect on some people.
of course. No,
But,
Colin looked great.
Colin looked great, and if you guys want to check out what we were wearing, yeah, go check out our Instagram, my personal Instagram. Colin posted it too, and it was a really fun night. There was a nice open bar. Got a little tipsy. That's why Ryan couldn't go because he's not 21 yet,
Mhm.
and we do not encourage underage drinking here.
Never.
Nope,
Never.
not once. But no, I had a really fun time. It was pretty cool being part of the high class for once. And I'm not gonna lie, there was no one that was less than 15 years older than me there. They were a lot older than me. But I met some really cool people. I met the president of Philadelphia Film Society, and it was really just all around really fun event. And I hope to get invited back next year. But yeah, everyone was like cheering when like certain people won awards and stuff. It was a really cool experience. I would really like to go back.
Nice.
And in 2 years, Ryan will be able to come.
Yeah.
But now to our winners. This is the part that everyone wants to actually hear about. No one cares again about our personal life. And so far, I'm going to just run through these, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go pretty quickly. So, starting off with Best Sound, Top Gun Maverick took that home. Best Hair and Makeup went to The Whale. Best Film Editing, which was a big category for me and Ryan this year. Everything Everywhere All at Once took that one home. Best Documentary Short was The Elephant Whispers. Best Adapted Screenplay went to Women Talking, which I did not think should have won. I think it's the only one I was genuinely like annoyed at.
Yeah.
That
I still
made-
haven't seen it, so I can't say. But
Maybe that and Best Score. I thought Best Score was a little.
I didn't mind Best Score. You're still good.
Yeah. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and I forget what the last one. I think it's the Horse. Won Best Animated Short. All Quiet on the Western Front took home Best Cinematography. And I saw some dumbass on Twitter. He's like, All Quiet on the Western Front won for Best Cinematography. He's like, I think this was a mid-year for cinematography. Shut the fuck up. I thought All Quiet had some incredible shots, and I thought the movie was incredible.
Yeah.
Of course, Best Visual Effects, Avatar: The Way of Water. And I made a joke on Twitter. I don't know if it landed because I haven't checked Twitter. But I was like, picking Avatar as Best Visual Effects on like your ballot is like the free space in bingo.
It was a given.
It was like a give me to
Yeah.
everyone.
It was a total given.
A short film that I actually really enjoyed. The live action short film went to An Irish Goodbye, which I picked, which I was very excited about. Best production design also went to All Quiet on the Western Front. Best costume design went to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Best original screenplay went to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ken Hugh Kwan won for Best Supporting Actor. Jamie Lee Curtis for Best Supporting Actress, which I saw a lot of people weren't very happy about, and I was okay with that. I thought she was really good in the movie. I think it could have went to late any of them.
I agree.
And I'm very happy Angela Bassett didn't win now because she acted like a bitch when she didn't win.
Her reaction was a little.
Everyone
wasn't
else was
happy.
always Austin Butler. He cheered for Brendan Fraser, gave him
Yeah.
a standing ovation. So
Dude, did you see Stephanie Sue when Jamie Lee Curtis won?
I started crying.
She went crazy.
Yeah, she cried for everyone that won.
Jamie Lee Curtis's reaction was hilarious too. It's like, holy shit!
Then we have for best original score, as we talked about, was All Quiet on the Western Front. Best documentary feature went to Navalny, which again I wouldn't have picked. Still a very good movie, very sad. I would have picked Fire of Love, which I thought was really good. For best animated feature, we had Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. All Quiet on Western Front, of course, won best international film. I don't get how people get this wrong on their ballot. If the movie's up for best picture, it's the only foreign film. It's gonna win.
Probably gonna win
for best foreign film.
That was another given, but another deserved given.
Yeah, it earned its spot. Best director went to the Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Natu won best original song. Of course, Michelle Yeoh won best actress. Brendan Fraser pulled the upset for best actor, and of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once pulled home the biggest award of the night, best picture. So I mean, everything except for the couple I already talked about, it was a pretty straightforward Oscars. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest one was best actor because that was the tightest race between Fraser and Austin Butler.
I thought Michelle Yeoh was gonna lose. I was getting so nervous because Kate Blanchett taking 3 in a row right at the end.
Yeah, it's true.
I was like, shit.
Tar got shut out though.
Tar got shut out. Elvis got shut out. My sister was not. None of my family was happy that Elvis got shut out.
Something else got shut out. I think Banshees got shut out too.
Yeah, Banshees did not take home a single Academy Award, which I think it should have been Women Talking. I think Banshees was a. Oh wait, no.
Was that an adapted screenplay?
No, Banshees was original. No, Banshees didn't deserve best screenplay.
Yeah.
Everything Ever All Once deserved screenplay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a good Academy Awards. No controversy this year. No one got slapped.
Good thing.
Very good. Did you you guys didn't watch it? When the show ended, Jimmy Kimmel walked off stage and it was like a board. It was like Oscar events without an incident, and he put one now. I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Jimmy Kimmel. He did a great job. James Cameron was not in attendance for personal reasons, and Tom Cruise did also not come to the Oscars, which people were a little shocked about.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I thought it was a really good Oscars. I enjoyed myself. Colin had a blast, and Colin, if anyone knows, is not a film person, and he was really enjoying it. And he said he's going to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once now.
Good.
Yeah, which is a big shock. But that is everything I have on the Oscars. Is there anything either one of you two would like to say?
No, I think all the winners deserved it. I think it was well deserved. It seemed like good Oscars.
It was.
I'm really glad Everything Ever All at Once got all the recognition it deserved. I love that movie. When me and Ryan saw it, dude, my mind was freaking blown away the whole time. Just a really great time watching that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I was super excited to see it pretty much take the Oscars this year.
Yeah.
It was the biggest winner, of course, Best Picture. But then it also won a lot. It took them home the most awards. I think it took him 7. And I was looking up. There's not many movies that you see that 3 actors and actresses win for the same movie. I think The Godfather did it. And I really can't think of another one.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, taking him 3, it's insane. And it took home the big 5.
Yeah.
Original screenplay, best director, best picture, and then took home actor and an actress. And took home an extra actress just to make sure it won. Yeah. But Navalny is actually on HBO Max. I'll go watch that again. It's very sad. But yeah, before we get into the Last of Us review, we have to try and attempt an ad read, which Ryan and I have not done a live ad read in about 2 months.
Yeah.
So this is going to be pretty much like a practice / real one, and we're going to try our best to make it sound good. So I'm gonna take a shot here and start us off.
I believe in you.
Do you actually? Are you sure about that?
No.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially when you're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on the journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. So I'm a big advocate for mental health anything like that, going to therapy. I went to therapy for I think I'm done now, but I had done it for probably like a year and a half. And I had always been one of those people that was like, oh, therapy's not like my thing. I didn't think it was I also had that very idea like, oh, men aren't allowed to cry unless you're watching a Spider-Man movie. But I then went to therapy. I found it extremely useful. It made me understand why, as I read it, you react to certain things the way you do, how certain things make you upset when it shouldn't be something so serious. But yeah, so I'm a huge advocate for therapy, Ryan. I know you have not went to therapy. We're trying to push you towards that.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But remember, BetterHelp is completely online.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have to say about BetterHelp, Ryan?
Um, well, I haven't used it, so I can't really say to use it because they tell us not to if you haven't used it. Okay. But if you're thinking about starting therapy, you should give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge.
And then just make sure to discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/popcornpod today to get 10% off your first month. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/popcornpod, POPCORNPOD. Thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this show. So I think for our first ad read, that was a little rough. I don't understand how I set you up to read the selling points and you go, I've never used
It was a
it.
weird transition to you going to like, you should try therapy, to me just going like, selling points. There you go.
Okay.
You set me up to give an
I set you up for
explanation.
failure.
Yeah, you set me up for failure.
No, I didn't.
I haven't gone to therapy yet.
Yet, keyword. But when you
Probably
do,
should.
you'll use BetterHelp.
I should, yeah.
Not you should, you will.
I will.
There's just not an option.
It's a great site.
It is a great site. And I've already signed up for my first month of
Yeah.
BetterHelp.
It's very useful.
It's a life coach. You know, it's still very stigmatized, but you know, if you just want to get back on track, have someone just talking about things helps a lot.
Anthony did better than you did. He's never been on a podcast before.
Thank you.
That's true.
Come on, Ryan. I expect more of you.
It's all right.
Ryan is death staring me from across the
I
table.
do that a lot.
But so going from BetterHelp into our main topic of the episode, and that is episode 8 and episode 9 of The Last of Us. Starting off with me, I think episode 8 might have been the best episode of the series. That I don't know if that seems to be what a lot of people think. I don't know what you two think specifically because we really haven't talked about it yet. But I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought the tension was great. I thought it was heartbreaking. And I thought it really let Bella Ramsey show why she is Ellie to the show. And it gave her a true opportunity to show off her acting chops and everything else that she's capable of doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it may have been Bella Ramsey's best episode. And I don't think it beat 3 yet, but I think it is definitely one of the better episodes just because of how great the villain was, first of all, but also Joel coming out of the coma and, you know, doing business was badass. But also Ellie's whole story was scary as shit because I didn't play the game, so I didn't know where it was going. But seeing her, how she got out of it, how she went through all this, she was smart and she was fucking ferocious. So I think you're right. Bella Ramsey had a really, really great episode. And it was just A, well written, and B, incredibly shot. It looked beautiful the whole time. I love the snow aesthetic to it. It looked fantastic.
I also think that episode 8 was a way better for Bella Ramsey, at least her acting, compared to episode 7. I know that might be controversial, but I didn't think episode 7 was. I know people really blown away Bella Ramsey, but I thought episode 8 was a way better. I don't know how to word this. I'm not as good with you guys. Yeah, performance, I guess. But episode 8 was really great. I really like seeing Troy Baker again in the Last of Us universe, even though it was a minor role, I guess, but really great addition to the show.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's such a hot take to say that 7 wasn't her best episode. See, I think I'm more on the side like I genuinely enjoyed episode 7. I just thought it was a really we talked about this in the last episode. I just think it was a really weird place to put the episode.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you just went from like a really high octane episode into a flashback scene. It just felt very weird. I think they maybe should have tried to do pretty much what the Mandalorian did. Just put it not in a different series because that was weird, but like just drop like in the middle of like in between season 1, 2, drop that.
Drop like a special.
Yeah, like a special for everyone to watch. But
Mhm.
I thought 8 kind of pulled everything together. Like I felt like as great as the show's been, it never had like an episode that was sad, scary, tense, action packed, all this stuff all together.
Yeah.
And this was like the episode that they did it, and that's why I think I have it as the best episode. But I do say going into like the actual episode now, like talking about like points and stuff like that. Right from the start, as Ryan already said, the locations looked fucking great. The whole show has been, I think they've done a really great job of blending CGI, VFX, actual locations, building these sets, and they were actually in. God, I just watched the behind the scenes, so I can remember where they
Was
were.
it Calgary?
Yes, Calgary.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looked great. And shout out to Scott Shepard who plays Dave.
Oh my god.
Fan fucking tastic.
He was the preacher, right?
Yeah, he's the villain of the episode. David, not Dave.
Mhm.
I think he killed it, no pun intended. But I really, really enjoyed this episode. I thought, as you talked about Troy Baker, just an icon in the Last of Us universe, bringing Joel first to everyone. I just love him. I think he seems just like he's supposedly just a genuine human being. He was super nice to Bella Ramsey when she took over the role, and I was just really excited to see him back in the universe, as Anthony already said. And I thought all the performances landed. I thought every scene landed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all in.
Yeah. No, I mean, the action, of course, landed totally too because you get all the Joel stuff, but also Ellie on her own fighting off David was very, very well done.
So
wait,
Dolph David.
what?
You say Dolph
I
David?
said fighting off David.
Oh, I was like, who's
What?
Dolph David? Okay.
Dolph Lundgren came in.
Yeah,
just
dude, I was so confused. But
if
like,
she dies, she dies. But
you can't use that line. You haven't seen
I
the
haven't
fucking
seen the movie
movie.
yet. Whatever. I almost said something real bad. No, I thought her fight was just the way she just got that cleaver and put it right in Troy Baker's throat. Dude, that was nasty. That was great. But the way she was very resourceful, like grabbing the fire out of the stove, I guess, or just fireplace and just throwing it, lighting the whole place on fire. It was smart. It was very, very well done. And the shot of her killing David was straight out of the games. I got to see that afterwards because IGN posted like show compared to the game
Yeah,
stuff.
the side by side.
That was ripped straight out of it, which is awesome to see.
Ryan, were you surprised when they were revealed that they were cannibals?
I was a little surprised. Yeah. I was a little surprised. I mean, you kind of saw it coming because they bring the meat in and say like, "Oh, this is venison," and then when they put all the dinner out, they bring the deer in. You're like, "Oh, that can't be venison." But they drop hints throughout, which you can piece it together. But when Joel finally walks into that garage and sees all the bodies hanging, then you're like, "Oh shit!"
No, the realization is the ear. That's after.
Yeah, but that's like, even then you're like, "Oh, they're just killing a lot of people in here," and then Joel walks in, he's like, "Oh,
Oh,
they're doing a lot more than that."
they're being evil.
Yeah. But also in the beginning, when like the little girl's like, "Can we bury my dad?"
Dude,
He's like,
when I went to rewatch the episode, I was like, "What the fuck?"
She ate her dad. I don't know if you guys realize that, but
Yeah, she ate her own father.
I knew they were cannibals prior because I already played the game. But I remember I was watching that, and my parents, I was watching with them, and they don't know anything about Last of Us. But I was like visibly shocked when I saw her eat the bowl of, I guess, her dad, and I was like, "Oh my god, no way!"
I just want to give the audience, if this episode sounds a little off, we had 3 microphones. I lost one, but so Ryan and Anthony are sharing a microphone. I'm off on the other side of the table with my own microphone. So if the two of them sometimes sound a little quiet, hopefully Colin can edit it to make it sound a lot better.
Yeah.
But it's because they're trying to go microphone to microphone.
We're just passing it back and forth.
Which I think you guys are doing a really good job on so far. But into the actual episode, like timeline. First, I thought James and David, Troy Baker, and what's his name again? Scott Shepard. I thought they had a really good chemistry going. You could feel that like they've been together for a while. And you can tell that Troy Baker's character, James, isn't really vibing with this whole ideology that he's taking on where he just wants to save people.
He's losing faith.
Save them. He really just wants to molest a lot of people. I'm just spitting facts here.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, and I completely forgot they were cannibals. Yeah. Like I was watching the episode, I was like, and then the guy's like, it's venison. I was like, oh, and like it all clicked again in my head. But when you, oh wait, no, I want to talk about something else. Yeah, I want to talk about the first time we see Ellie in the episode. She's trying to take care of Joel. She's checking on his wound. You actually see the wound before you see any of the characters. Man, he's in bad shape, man.
Yeah.
He's struggling. And she realized she needs to go out and find food. And this is how James and David run into Ellie because she shoots a deer for them pretty much.
Hmm. I'm kind of upset they took out the bunny scene though, because that meme of the one girl playing the game, she's like, "That's the cutest thing."
She like, covers her mouth.
It's so funny. But I thought that scene was really well done, where they find the deer and then Ellie sneaks up on him. It's like, "You're quite the hunter. Shut the fuck up."
I like how she tries to deepen her voice.
Yeah.
She's like, turn around. But I think one of the best scenes of this episode is following that sequence when it is David and Ellie in the abandoned house next to the fire. I think just their conversation's a really good scene because everyone's gonna have their own idea of like God, religion, whatever. And then he says that luck's not a thing, which I do not believe. I think luck is a part of this world. I think some things just are luck. You see all these videos about it. Luck's a thing.
Yeah.
There's no
You get lucky.
Jose
Sometimes.
Canseco, there was a home run hit off of his head. That's luck. But no, I thought that scene was terrific, and of course it ends with David had snuck back up on Ellie and has a gun to her.
James did.
What did I say, David?
Yeah.
God damn it. James snuck back up on Ellie while David's talking to her, and I thought it was just a really good scene. And Ellie got her penicillin that she needed for Joel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought the scene was really well done because, like, when I was first watching it, I not knowing the games, I thought, oh, maybe this guy's all right. You know, he's being real cool with Ellie. He's talking to her normal. Like he's saying his shit that you might not fully agree with, but he seems like a normal dude. He's just taking care of his people. But then, you know, he lets Ellie go with the penicillin, and you're like, oh, maybe he is pretty good. And then he's like, all right, now we're gonna go kill them. Like, oh,
Oh
shit.
no, this dude's like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
You
he's
bad
not nice.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, Epstein, yeah.
You mean Dahmer?
No, I meant Epstein. He wants to touch children.
He likes little girls.
Yeah, he likes little girls.
Yeah.
Dahmer like little boys.
Dahmer also like to eat people.
That is true. He's a mix. He's a mix between them, which might be even worse than just being one or the other. But this is the strongest fucking penicillin I have ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to put it right in the cut. Like,
First of all, not put in the cut. Not only that, Joel then turns into the goddamn Incredible Hulk and goes on a fighting rampage.
yeah, off 2 shots of penicillin.
Of 2 shots of penicillin when this dude couldn't even get out of bed.
And a little whisper pep talk from Ellie. It's like,
Fucking kill him.
you kill him.
You fucking kill him.
Yeah, she did say that.
She loves her F words.
She loves her fuck words, yeah.
We then move into the scene with the villages, the ski resort or whatever, the kitchen. And the scene looks pretty normal as we talked about. They think they're eating venison. And then the guy goes, it's venison. And you're like, is it now? And after, when you go back to rewatch it, especially now that you know, it was more tense for me the second time I watched it, especially like it all clicking in my head again. I was like, fuck, man, I forgot like completely about that whole storyline. Storyline is very short, but yeah, I love the whole sequence with that. And then when David smacks the girl, and then he gives this whole talk about how he's her dad now, creepy bastard.
Yeah,
but yeah, I genuinely, I don't think there was a bad scene in this whole episode.
I think that scene too, where they're all eating dinner, is like, you get. It's more like show don't tell. Like, you learn more about David's character just by him. If you look at the bowls they're eating out of, it's all very small, like rations, and he just has this full plate. It's human, but you know, it's still a whole spread he's got going on, and he's just eating nice and slow. Everybody's just downing their food because they're starving. So you kind of learn more about him just by paying attention instead of them telling him that, hey, this guy isn't a great guy. You just kind of have to pay attention and see that for yourself, which I always love because you have to watch more actively, which is always fun.
They were eating out of those bowls pretty fast too. I don't know if you guys realize that, but they were starving.
Yeah, they were hungry.
They were hungry for that girl's dad. They were. Oh God. Me and Ryan talked about this when we watched it on our trip. Do you think you could do it if you were starving and someone had just died?
I don't want to know. Like,
well, I don't think any of us want to know, but just like off the top of your head, do you think you could do it?
No.
You don't think you could do it?
No.
Like if Ryan
I'd rather
died,
starve.
we got stuck in this room, me, you, and Ryan. You wouldn't eat Ryan?
No.
Oh, I'm
Definitely
munching.
will not eat you guys.
I'm making chicken wings out of this dude.
No offense.
Yeah, I'm not dying just because I don't want to break some moral code.
We can ration the York mints outside.
No, I'm saying we're stuck in this room.
I'm not eating anyone.
Ant's like, I'll die.
Yeah, that's
You'll
not
start looking
happening.
like Rum Hand to me, Ant.
Oh my god. If I just close my eyes and you guys tell me to a bowl of venison, then
Yeah,
we're good.
You'll just hear me breaking Ryan apart and be like, "It's venison.
Yeah.
Don't think about it, Ant. Just eat."
Just human meat and tomato paste. That's it. And
Dude,
they launched it.
It looked good. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching that show. I was like, "Yo, they toasted that shit up. That kind of they grilled it."
Yeah, I can cook.
You got that medium rare bicep
Thigh?
over there. I was enjoying myself. I was like, "Damn, that guy look kind of good."
Jesus.
Dude, no, if you people, I don't believe it. I think if you guys were in this situation, you would have eaten it.
It was just me and you watching it in a dark room. I don't want to hear you thinking about eating people.
I'm not saying I'm gonna go out and eat someone right now. Wait, I don't want to eat you at all. But I'm saying if I had no option and it was die or cook up a human, Jeffrey Dahmer, he had a point.
What? Hold on. You can't just say that and get away with it.
Yeah, like maybe it's tasty. Cook it up, get a nice medium rare. Come on.
I'm gonna pass on this
No,
conversation.
I think no, 'cause I did seriously think you guys are a bunch of fucking liars. If you had Ryan, if you were either gonna die or eat Ant, what's your option? What are you gonna do? You gonna die?
I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
No, it's like that rugby team that their plane crashed.
Didn't they eat each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You played rugby.
I understand.
He
So
gets it.
answer the question, Ryan. He gave an answer. I gave my answer.
If it's somebody I don't know, I could probably munch them. Yeah.
Munch 'em.
Munch them. I'd munch it down.
I think you're a liar still.
I'd be like super, and I'd be like one little bite, like, oh, I don't want to do this, and then I'd eat it and be like, oh shit,
You're like, damn, this shit
Damn,
fire.
this shit's good.
You reckon? People are listening right now, like, what the fuck did
What
they
did this turn
tangent did
into?
you just take them on?
Dude, your audio lines are spiking.
I know, because I bring the mic really close sometimes. I'm probably scaring the shit out of someone trying to go to bed right now. Listen to
Oh
us.
man, it just got so loud for like 2 minutes there.
No one. I don't think anyone actually listens to us when they try and go to bed. We'd be the
Better
worst podcast to listen to. Actually, I listen to the Goons when I go to bed, so I can't
that's
say
no.
very much.
That's something.
That is something. And me and Ryan shared a room on our trip, and he had to listen to the Goons with me. We went to bed.
I had my headphones in the entire time. I'll turn
Ryan
the volume
Ryan got
way
a
down.
pet on our trip.
What?
A
I
pet.
did. Yeah, I found a goldfish under my pillow. By the way, I didn't eat goldfish in the bed. I just randomly found a goldfish under the pillow, and I put it
also
there.
did
I'm
not
like,
eat goldfish
this is
in
our
our
pet
room.
now. This is Goldie. And then Tom just immediately smashed it.
I did.
I was
killed
heartbroken.
it.
I was heartbroken.
And then he didn't clean it up for like 3 days, so it was
No,
just
I
a
touched it.
pile of dust on our
It
table.
was my pet. It was Goldie.
You dead fucking pet.
Yeah.
But going back to the episode, going off our tangent, when Ellie gets the scout team and she runs away on the horse, I really enjoyed that whole action sequence.
Mhm.
And then especially the stunt for when James shoots the horse and it sends Ellie just flying.
Yeah.
Do you think he aimed for the horse?
Yeah.
Or do you think he was trying to kill Ellie?
Much bigger target.
Yeah, but I mean, he
No,
says
I would
I
shoot
hit
her.
her.
Well, he made her hit the ground.
Dude, that looked like
I knocked her the fuck out. Yeah.
She was like days trying to look up. She saw stars.
Yeah.
She was like every
She was-
Looney Tunes character with like the stars flying around them.
Very concussed.
Yeah,
No, I think you would shoot the horse in that situation.
I would try
Much
to hit.
easier.
I think I would try to hit Ellie.
You would miss so
I
fast.
would. And then I'd probably shoot the horse when I missed to try to take my
Yeah.
second round. But yeah, I thought it was a really good sequence.
I
And then
agree.
of course, oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, nothing to say. I agree. It was a great sequence.
Yeah,
It was a good, quick action sequence.
Can I talk now?
No. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I also want to go into like this was the Joel that I've been waiting to see this entire series because with Joel I want to question if I'm rooting for this guy. Which I
Yeah.
think when we get to the finale we'll talk about. That's when it became like really prevalent. Like, am I on this guy's side still?
Is this a good guy or not?
Yeah, and I wanted to feel that way the entire show, but the whole time I feel like I was rooting for him.
Mm-hmm.
When I feel like finally in episode 8 they kind of made it more like, okay, this, like, you see him kill people throughout the show, but this was like murdering
Torture.
people. Yeah, this wasn't like he had to kill these people like he did for the rest. This was just straight up murdering people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see that the whole show. So I was, not that I wanted to see people just get tortured, but I think it brought like a darker side, Joel, that I wish we got earlier on in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think it worked to have him like that was kind of his breaking point almost. Like not that he could have done that earlier, but having him getting closer to Ellie, then she gets taken away, made him like just snap a little bit more.
It definitely helps plant the seeds. Just see how brutal Joel is, because like you were saying earlier, you don't really see it that much in prior episodes, but like he didn't need to kill that second hostage. He knew he wasn't getting anything out of it, and he's still relentless. So
It's a great line.
yeah,
I believe him. Boom!
Beats him with a fucking pipe.
I don't think he beat him. I think that one hit did the job. But we move from there into what I think is the best scene of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Ellie wakes up inside the cage and she has the scene with David. And David, of course, brings up the quote from it. He says, "You have a violent heart," which we get glimpses of how violent Ellie is. Like in the very first episode, she stabs that guy.
Yeah.
Like we get hints of it. You see it from this episode. The end of this episode shows how violent she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she had every right to do exactly what she does towards the end of this episode. But I think it was just a great scene. And the way that Bella Ramsey was able to like portray like, oh, I agree with you now, like, and she gets close to him. I really thought she did a great performance throughout the sequence.
Yeah, and I think it was another breaking point for her, like Joel, because you see her like she does have that violent heart and like tendencies throughout the series, but you see her in what was it episode 4 when she shoots that kid to get him off Joel.
Yeah, because
Shoots him in
then
the back.
5 is when
Yeah, but
Sam
then like
and Henry are in it.
she can do it, but then she goes into the other room and starts crying. Like she's fine hurting people, but when she does it, she's like, "Oh shit, I just did that." She doesn't feel good about it. I think this was the one time she's like, she obviously still didn't feel good about it. She was pretty fucked up afterwards.
Yeah,
but
because even in episode 9, you still see the effects
Yeah.
of what she does.
yeah, I think this was the snap for her. Like, there's bad people in this world and they need to die. So she's able to do that now.
she is still, like, I would say from when the show first starts, she still is, even though, I mean, she did stab that guy first episode, a pure character. She hasn't been that tainted by the world that she lives in. So when she's put into this situation where, you know, she has to
Commit these acts.
Yeah, have to commit these acts. That it, you know, it definitely does. It changes her. You know. Yeah, I need help speaking on some things, guys.
Oh.
I'm not as.
I think you're doing a pretty good
Thank
job.
you, guys.
Me and
Thank you.
Ryan have episodes where we just slur the entire hour and a half that people have to sit through and listen to us talk.
Yeah. No,
But,
you guys do a good job.
Oh, I think you're actually, speaking of you coming on the guest, I think you're the first guest that's actually listened to the show of like
Yeah.
our friends.
Yeah.
Because Luke has never listened. Colin's kind of, he's forced into listening to our show. He edits it for us. Matt's never listened. So
I'm a fan.
Yeah, you're.
Unless, I mean, except when you guys do rank shows, and it's like probably the worst like rankings of any show
Okay, you
I've
know what? Shut the fuck up.
ever seen.
I love my rankings, and I have nothing I would put add on there or take off of there.
I always tell Ryan when he put Sopranos so low on that list, it was my heart was broken.
Yeah, I know. I put it top 5, so.
You didn't watch
the Oh.
show.
I attempted to.
I gave up after season 1.
Actually, I made halfway through season 2 first off. Nothing happens. The first 2 seasons, there's nothing.
Nothing does happen in the show. That's why it's so great. It's real. All right, enough about Sopranos. I'm sorry. I was burning up somehow.
I have to listen to these two.
He was about to go down a wormhole.
But I was actually wrong. The Joel scenes after the cage sequence, I put it on to like keep my timeline correct. And then we go back to Ellie in the cage, and you can tell that she sees something, but the camera doesn't show you what she sees, and she just looks horrified. And David brings in food, and he won't eat, and she tells him that you're fucking eating people.
Yeah.
Because then you see that it's an ear. And again, these close throughout the entire show, most of the time when it's just two people having a conversation, it's usually the best scenes in the episode, unless Kathleen's talking because she fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, the more I think about her and more I've seen scenes of her, she was terrible.
No, that character
I don't think the
sucked.
girl is terrible. I think the character was unnecessary for the show.
Yeah.
I don't think she was that bad.
You're
I thought
nicer than I am.
well, her deal was that it was her brother in charge the whole time, and then she was put in a situation where now they're still in all this trouble, her whole community, and now she has to be in charge. So
You're a nicer guy with things than we are.
yeah, I guess yeah.
This scene was terrifying. Like as I'm watching it, he just keeps bringing up like the violent heart. He's like, I had one too, and then like he rubs her hand. That shit's fucking weird,
Yeah.
dude.
But her like going with it for a second and then just snapping his finger. It was great.
Tell them my name's fucking Ellie.
Tell him a little girl broke your finger.
Fucking finger.
I'm sorry.
Come on. What? You're not gonna curse anymore? You just
No, I'm clean now.
You're a fucking
I'm
liar.
a good Catholic young boy.
Do we need to go back through episodes when we bleeped?
Do you need to go fuck yourself?
There we go. I need to get out of them somehow.
I got you.
But yeah,
I just had my snap.
Ellie eventually breaks his finger, and then we have the scene which Ann talked about, in which Joel finds the bodies, which again is just disturbing. Think of what these people are doing.
Yeah.
And I need to talk. I don't think cannibalism is okay because I know people are thinking that now. I do not think that. I think when you're desperate, decisions need to be made, and I'd rather do some horrible moral things than have to die.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll bring up another question you had. Hand him the mic. I need to hear from you.
Thank you.
But so me and Ryan talked about this when we were watching. I think it was probably early on in the show, but we talked about like Joel having to kill people, which of course is a dark topic of someone taking someone else's life. But in the situation that Ellie was in when she has to shoot the kid, could you have done it, or would you have to let the guy die and just ran and fended for yourself?
Are you saying Ellie? Like if I was Ellie?
Yeah, in that scene, like.
I think I definitely would. I think that was probably the worst case scenario for like shooting someone. That the guy, I mean, he literally told her his name, that his mom's like around the corner, and like we can be friends, guys. Here's my knife. We're all good. We're all good. It's all done. I would, dude. If I was her, that's just awful. I don't know if. I mean, I would shoot him, yeah, but
like I think it's gonna sound so bad what I'm about to say, but so you shoot him the first time, he doesn't die.
yeah.
He starts talking. I might have to cut him off. I might need to just finish the job. I don't think I could, because I think if I listened too long, I would let him live, and then he would tell everyone where everyone was, and I think that's what I would think about. And then later on, when I'm trying to go to bed at night, that's when the whole thought process might kick in of what happened.
I don't know how they slept that night.
No, and then they get caught.
Yeah.
But I just want to ask that question. I thought that was a pretty good question because I feel like everyone has that thought process, especially when you're watching a movie. Because people are like, "Oh, kill a guy." Like it's so easy from us on like the side of like watching something, but when you actually think about like having to be put in the situation, I think it gives you a different look on it.
Yeah.
And the whole like Last of Us in general, they do a great job at making you feel like it's a person that is in front of the gun for you. Because like you were saying, like when you shoot someone, like it's not just like boom, you're dead, like it's done. Like that was hard to watch. Even in the game, if you shoot someone will say, "Oh, they shot him, kill those." I'm not cursing on here because I'm gonna be clean podcast on here, but yeah, shit, man, I don't.
You just say you wouldn't curse, said shit 2 seconds later. No, but back into the Last of Us timeline again, back to where we're at in the show. I think then we see David, and James both come back in the room to kill Ellie, and Ellie tells them that they're infected. She bit David, and James is like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And then Ellie fucking kills him.
That was
She
sick.
kills Troy Baker. She stabs him right in the neck with a hatchet, and she gets him good.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy Baker was the one that came up with that idea.
Did he?
Yeah, he came up with the idea of her hitting him like the way she does and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think it would look great. And he's like, I was sitting in that corner playing Dead as My Blood, shooting out. And I was like, the whole time I was saying, I was like, that was fucking dope. I was like, there you go. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And then from there,
Oh, do you think David would have turned though? Do you think because she bit him?
me, you talked about it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would like
'cause-
to know, though.
Yeah, would be interesting. Do you think
Neil
maybe
Druckmann should tell us.
he was like slower, but he still would have eventually?
Let me, you know, let's check Google.
Or
real
maybe
quick.
that's the cure.
Her-
Maybe she
her
bites him.
fucking
That's the
fighting
cure.
people.
Yeah, maybe. Could you imagine? He just bites him right on the.
Ellie almost certainly cannot infect others in The Last of Us, while the end result of what would occur from a group of people eating Ellie, as was threatened in The Last of Us Episode 8, is unclear. There are some hints in The Last of Us Part 2 surrounding Ellie's immunity and how it works. So, it doesn't seem like we have a definite answer anywhere yet, but it would be cool to see what would happen if someone eats Ellie, if someone gets bit by Ellie, like all that kind of stuff. So, maybe we'll find out, because we have 2 more seasons at least to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So maybe Neil Druckmann will tell us, or Craig Mazin will be like, "Yo, Neil,
Maybe she'll just rip into somebody.
they just eat them."
Just give him a nice bite and lock him in a room for like a couple days.
That is horrible. That's worse than just
I can see
shooting
it.
someone.
I can see it.
That's torture.
It's science.
That person would probably go crazy just thinking about if they're going to turn or not.
You got to find out. It's science. You got to test the hypothesis.
Hannah's sitting here like, this was the worst episode for me to come on with these guys. I think this is probably the most we've went off topic in a long time. I feel like we've done so well these last 4 months. In this episode, we're just like, you want to see us do absolutely nothing with the story?
Yeah.
Like, we're 46 minutes in. We still have a whole other episode.
Yeah, we got it. We're chilling.
I clicked off the light. I'm trying to watch. So, as we talked about, the next sequence is Ellie trying to get away from David. She's locked in the kitchen with him. Not the kitchen, the whole dining building.
Yeah.
And I forgot he pulls the knife out of James's neck to use it.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit.
I did want to say, I said this to Ryan, I think, when we were watching it. There's that shot of Ellie hitting with the piece
Lever?
of wood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That smoke is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you won't notice it, but I feel like you might see a little smoke coming up from it.
Okay.
Smoke.
You reckon?
You shut the fuck up. But I absolutely love this sequence. It felt like something out of the video game, like going from corner to corner, looking, peeking, and like all that stuff. It's a very video game like sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was a great, very well done scene, and it has a great payoff.
Yeah. No, when she goes ape mode. She just beats that man with the cleaver. It was awesome.
That's a great word choice.
The show also does like a great job, with the action of the game and bringing it to a TV show. Because I was worried before the show came out how they were going to adapt that, and I feel like they've done a great job every episode with that.
No, especially when they show because I watched the gameplay when the game came out.
Yeah,
So it's been 10 years since I've seen how the game
Yeah.
goes and everything. But when they do the side by sides, it refreshes my memory, of course. And the way that, especially they've done it really well throughout the show. But I feel like this scene really the way she's crouched, going from around the corner,
Mhm.
grabbing it like a knife, like all that kind of stuff feels very, very similar to a video game, very much like The Last of Us is.
yeah.
And I just thought it was a great, 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 great scene. And it might be the best scene from the whole season so far.
Yeah, and it does pay off really well.
Yeah, seeing Ellie freak out is quite scary. Like it should, the violent heart comes out.
Yeah.
And again, she has I'm
Definitely.
defending her to this point. She had every right to do what she does.
Yeah.
This guy was going to do some horrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets what he deserves.
Yeah. And the way it was shot too, the fire going up on the ceilings,
Yeah.
the blood spraying on the camera. It was awesome.
And I like how you don't see it. Like you see
Yeah.
her, but you don't see
Because that's what's
happening.
important. You don't
Yeah.
need to see him dying. It's more about how it's affecting her, which is kind of the whole point of the show. It's just how it affects. It's a human story before it's a apocalypse story. So it's more about how it affects her and what this means to her rather than David dying.
Yeah, and then we see as she eventually gets out of the building, and she runs. She's like dazed because you can see from when she first gets thrown, her head's she's concussed.
Yeah.
And she gets out there and she's like stumbling, and then Joel comes up behind her, and I loved how Aunt knew that Ellie was going to do it herself. Like Joel's not the hero in this sequence, But I love the idea of like they show Joel like running, and like you're like, oh, Joel's gonna come and save her. But no,
Mhm.
this is Ellie's fight, and it shows that Ellie is capable to handle herself.
Yeah.
And of course, we got the scene that everyone has been showing on TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. Joel comes up behind her, he grabs her, she starts freaking out. He's like, it's okay, I got you, baby girl. Which again was something that Troy Baker had came up with himself while doing the video game
Hmm.
because he was putting Sarah to bed when they were filming, and he's like, okay, good night, baby girl. And then Neil Druckmann was like, wait, why'd you say that? And that's like a big thing in Texas. That's what good night. And it stuck. And it was that moment where like in last up in no, that wasn't last episode 6, we see Joel and Ellie getting close. Like we know that there's a relationship building there. Like she puts her head on his shoulder as they talk about like contractors, football, and all that. But that was like the scene when he says that to her. That's like the scene where he sees her as his daughter, as
Yeah.
like a child of his, and like
Yeah.
he protects her. And I think it was just a great way to end the episode, especially to set up a finale for the season.
Yeah.
When if you know the games, you know what's coming up soon
Hmm.
within maybe not the next episode, but in the beginning of the next season, if they truly follow the gameplay,
Yeah.
which I really hope they don't. But yeah,
Four.
what
4.
4? But yeah. Is there anything you two want to add about episode 8?
No, I think just the way Joel says "baby girl" too. So like, he doesn't even think about it. Like he hasn't probably hasn't said that since 2003, and he doesn't think twice before saying it. Like he just grabs her and says it's okay, and it made it mean even more.
I really enjoyed the episode the whole time I was watching it, but it did like it really came together that last minute when Joel was speaking to Ellie. That's when I really was like, wow, this is a really great episode. Because it just shows Ellie and the progression both these characters are taking, where Joel's turning more, reverting back into a father figure, and Ellie's just going batshit crazy. So
She really is going.
yeah,
Because we know that she's not going to be fine after that.
No.
Not only killing the guy, it's what it's the thought that what she's thinking about, like what would have happened if I didn't do this.
Yeah.
What if what he wanted to happen happened to me?
Hmm.
And that's something that not just bothers you for a little bit. That's something that sticks with you for the rest of your life. Especially like the way she kills him. That's you're never gonna forget about that. But yeah,
At least they got more tomato paste.
oh, that is something I thought about. Where the fuck was the rest of the village?
Yeah,
They didn't realize that
they
there
all
was a,
kind of
a
left.
whole ass building on fire.
Yeah, they did kind of leave. Well, it could have been like because they were already like very low on numbers. So, and then David brought like his 5 biggest dudes and probably most of, if not all, their guns with him to find Joel. So it could have just been like the women and children hiding the whole time, which that's a good explanation for it. But at the same time, you could have just had like one line from David or James saying that, but I don't think it's a huge deal. Them
No,
not
it's not a
showing up.
huge deal, but it was something I thought about when I watched it for the first time, and then when I watched it for the second, I was wondering where all these people are.
Yeah.
Because you would think that they would have to like run away.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's a valid criticism, but I don't think it's anything that like hurts the episode or anything.
yeah, and of course, now we're gonna go into the finale of the show. And going into the finale, we had talked about, me and Ryan had talked about on the show multiple times, was that we were nervous about it feeling rushed. And when they announced like, oh, the episode's gonna be 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's how long screen time's gonna be. And then credits, of course, adds it up, and behind the scenes, that'll adds it to 55 total minutes. So you have 42 minutes to bring this to an end.
Yeah.
Which, Anthony, you played the game. That's a lot to do when you're at this point in the gameplay. Like that's still a big chunk.
Yeah.
Like nothing crazy, but enough that you're like 42 minutes might not be enough time. And when you've taken 2 episodes to do storylines that are not affecting the main story mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like, just on my quick thoughts, I thought the episode was very good.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed how they ended the season. We'll talk about when we get done reviewing this. We all had a little conversation after the episode ended. We're just sitting there talking. And I think we brought up some valid points about where the show has to go from here. And especially when Neil Druckmann said that this will be more than one more season. He's like, I have 2 planned at the moment.
Yeah. Part 2 will be more than one season.
Yeah, part 2 will be more than one. Which it gives up. You have to think of different ideas how to do things. We know that Ellie is much older in the second game than she is right now.
Yeah.
So that's something else you have to think about. But we'll get more into that stuff when we finish reviewing the actual episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you guys have any opening thoughts about the finale?
No, I think it was a really, really good finale. I thought they adapted it well. I think it ended the season well. I do think it was maybe not the episode, but the season as a whole. Towards the end, like thinking about it, it was a little bit rushed, just because you have 9 episodes to do an entire game. You could have made this 10, maybe even 11 episodes, but at the same time, it was still a great ending to a great season of television. So I'm not upset about it, but I think it could have gone on for maybe just 1 or 2 more episodes.
And having Ashley Johnson back as Ellie's mom is probably the best role they could have given her. I think she did a great job as Ellie's mom. But I really enjoyed that. I thought that cold opening was great at the beginning of the episode.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
I was
really
worried
tried.
because when I first started playing and it was like 43 minutes, I'm like, dude, this can't be like. There's like a lot of stuff they have to do, and there's not enough time to have all this. But I thought it really paid off, and it was really interesting seeing how, because in the game they don't. I mean, I haven't finished part 2, but they don't ever really explain how Ellie's immune. So seeing, I don't know, Anna, Ellie's mom get bit,
Yeah,
and then so that pretty much. I just thought that was crazy that they pretty much explained how she's immune, but it was also interesting seeing what's her name, Marlene, because I didn't know that they grew up together, and that's like another parental figure, I guess, in Ellie's life, but that's 2 different sides of the coin. Because I mean, I don't get too far into it, but
Yeah, and we see because the first time Ellie actually meets Marlene, like to her memory,
yeah,
is when she's chained up.
hmm
So she doesn't really know Marlene, even though Marlene's known about Ellie since she was born.
hmm
So that gives like a whole nother dynamic to Marlene's perspective on how the cure is going to work and all that,
yeah,
which comes to a head towards the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Now,
And
I'll.
hold on,
Oh,
thinking
sorry.
about it more, Marlene did not keep that promise at all.
No, I said that, but I wanted to.
Like,
I wanted to save
Alright.
that part though,
Alright.
like where she doesn't keep the promise, and then because I have some stuff I didn't like about this episode because I did not think this episode was as good as 8, 5, 3,
Yeah, I
2.
agree.
I think this episode to me was good. Like I don't think there's a bad episode on the show.
Mhm.
I think this was to me one of the best seasons of television that I've had in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That at least I can think of because I haven't watched Succession, so I can't give my opinion on that. But I have some things I wanted to talk about when we get to like the hospital sequences that I think they could have done better, and I think a longer runtime would have helped with. But yeah,
Mhm.
just something I wanted to say because I would want to talk about like together instead of one of us says it now and then we pretty much repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
When we get to the actual part of the episode. But as Anthony talked about, the opening scene is Ashley Johnson as Anna running, and you can hear it's a runner chasing after. It's not a clicker because it hasn't fully developed yet, which I really love. I love the whole concept of how they work.
Yeah.
Which is like they just develop over time.
Mhm.
I want to know more about bloaters. I just want to know more about like because you know that they're like they've been there for a while. Like they've probably been infected for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
But I want to know how long, and I want to see someone become infected because we
Like
haven't
follow the entire.
followed like their transformation
Mhm.
into a runner. I don't need to see them become a clicker.
That would be cool.
I just want to know, and I thought we were gonna get it with Anna, but we didn't.
Yeah. I also want to see somebody take down a bloater because we still haven't seen that. Like we got the one in episode 5, but then it ran away. So I still don't know how you kill those things.
Well, it didn't run away; they ran away.
Yeah.
The clicker, not the clicker, the
swarm or
bloater is
whatever.
going crazy.
Yeah.
Oh god, remember he rips the dude's just
That was
head
awesome.
apart.
Wasn't it Perry or something like
Yeah,
that?
Perry.
That was
Perry was
sick.
dope.
Dude, he was like, "Run away! I got this!" and just immediately gets ripped.
And then it was like some 2000 slow mo.
Yeah,
That was weird.
that was weird. It was a weird
Frame
choice.
rate.
Mhm.
Very weird.
Yeah.
But as I talked about Anna, we see her running, and she gets into this house, which you know that Marlene. Eventually, you figure out that Marlene's supposed to be there because she says when she opens the door, she's like, "It's me, it's me." But there's no one else there waiting for her.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I did not think about that when I was watching. I didn't even notice that she said that. She
Really?
goes, "It's me, it's me." I
Yeah.
thought she was just like yelling.
Mhm.
I don't know why, but I missed it in that. And you can see like the distress on her face. She tries to block the door. She puts the chair up, and all this while she's 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
On the verge of having a baby. Her water burst. Is that what we call it? No, you say your water breaks.
Yeah.
Then she can't. I do have to say, when she tries to open the door and it doesn't open because her hands are slippery. Of course, I'm not a woman. I've never had a child, and I, I can't imagine it's that slippery that you can't open a door.
I mean, there's a lot of water.
It is, but you can hold things when you have water on your hands. And I
I
don't
mean,
think it's water.
It's not just water.
It's not water.
It's mostly water. It's not just water.
Yeah,
a
but
lot
I
of
don't know.
things
It was just something I thought about. But that could just be me. It just seemed a little like tropey to like horror and stuff, where they can't get
Yeah.
the door open. That's just something I thought about. But I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
But it was just a quick thing. Like it wasn't.
No, it wasn't
hold
like
up
super
too much
important.
time.
It's just something that was in
Yeah.
my head.
It wasn't like she was trying for like a minute. And
If it was like that, I would that would have this movie this show would have lost some point.
like knocked her through the door. That would have been so goofy.
That would
Like it jumps on her and they both fly through.
let's clarify.
And then Ellie just flies out.
It just shoots out. But then eventually the runner gets in and it attacks Anna. And you see where Anna got bit, like on her leg.
Mhm.
That thing never bites towards her leg.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I was.
It doesn't-
It should be like her neck or something.
It could have been. I think it's when she was stabbing it because his head kind of goes down for a second.
Maybe.
I think it's
I'm
probably
watching
around
right
there.
now. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I love that Ellie's just on the ground when she looks down. He just. Phew.
That does bring up another question for me. I thought about that. If a baby gets infected,
Okay,
Does
this
it-
is a whole different part.
so
I thought you were
so-
going somewhere
no,
else
no,
with
no,
this.
no. Oh God! If a baby gets infected, the cordyceps would mutate and it would eventually turn into a clicker. But would the baby continue to grow up? Like if
No.
a kid got infected too,
No.
would it keep growing up? You think?
The kid clicker.
Oh shit! You're right.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. That would be crazy to see a baby.
No, because they're
clicker.
dead.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But a baby clicker just
Wah,
crawling around.
But just instead of wang, it's just clicking
Yeah.
noises.
Oh, that would be so funny.
I
I would love to see that.
Oh,
Tom, you know me. Come on.
come
I
on, man.
love terrible shit in shows. I can't wait for that baby to die.
Yeah, did you see? You know that show that Andrew Garfield was in last year, Under
the
the Banner of
detective show.
Heaven?
I've heard of it. I didn't watch it.
The whole show's about a mom and her 15-month-old baby getting decapitated, and the whole
Really good
time
show.
on every review, Ryan's like, "I can't wait for that baby to die."
Because
Yeah.
the whole show is like you're waiting to see the murder
No,
happen.
no,
You're trying
the
to
whole
figure
show
out
is
who
trying to
did
figure
it.
out who did it.
Yeah.
Not,
But you know they're going to show the murder. I'm like, come on, I just want to know. I got to see this baby.
oh my god, we're gonna get the. Oh, we're not making any money.
And then when it finally happened, I was like, oh God.
Yeah, then when it happened, he's like,
terrible.
"Oh, that's kind of dark."
Yeah. Great show though.
Great show.
Yeah.
Very good. It's on Hulu if you want to watch it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna use that actually as my recommendation of the week,
Alright.
but we'll save that. So then that was the cold opening of the episode, which was very dark compared to most cold openings in television.
Yeah.
But we then cut back to the house, and it's nighttime now, and we see that Marlene and two other guys are going towards the house, and eventually they find Anna, and you see that Anna's been infected. I think I just did that into the mic. But
I could hear it whistling. I was like, what the hell?
oh my god, this episode's so
That
fucking
gulp was-
scuffed.
That gulp was disgusting.
But eventually, Anna tells Marlene that she needs a promise that she's going to take Ellie, bring her to Boston, have someone raise her. And as we know, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because Ellie ends up in a QZ
In Fedra school.
in Fedra school. But Marlene then has to kill Anna. And
Mhm.
it's very sad, even though you just met her. You know how depressing that has to be and how sad it has to be to kill a friend that you've known your entire life.
Yeah.
And it eventually cuts back to now current day Ellie.
Yeah. But then, like, Marlene, Anna asked her, like, find somebody who can take care of her. I don't think she meant Fedra school, where she's going to be tortured for, like, 14
We
years.
actually don't know. She could have
mean-
went to like a home and
Yeah.
it didn't work. So they
It's
sent her
not
to
the
Fed-
worst option.
Sounds
Well, you
pretty
coulda kept her
fucking
with, like-
shitty.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to Federal school?
She had a nice Walkman.
It was a Walkman.
That's what I said.
Walkman sucked.
You ever used a Walkman?
Yeah.
They're great.
Well, they're not.
Tune into Phillies games.
You
It's
can.
awesome. And like current ones that have radio, yeah. My uncle's got one down the shore. I use it sometimes. It's
You
really
like your
nice.
Walkman?
Dude, Walkman are awesome.
What would you rather
Just
have? Your,
clip it on.
would you have your Walkman or your AirPods?
They didn't have AirPods in 2003.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, AirPods.
Okay.
We were talking about Last of Us. They didn't have those yet.
No, and then Joel comes to find Ellie, and he has Boggle, the worst fucking game in the world, and Chef Boyardee, and right away you can tell that Ellie just isn't there.
Yeah.
Like they show that, like by her not really listening, but even when she's like, they are having conversations, she seems out of it, and
Mhm.
it's really sad because you know that that's something that she's gonna be like that for a long, long time.
Yeah. And she's quiet for the first couple minutes, like 15 minutes of the episode too. Like it's not just that one scene. She doesn't want to talk about much, which sucks.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm a little stuffy. I have a head cold.
It's no worries.
It's actually my allergies, but Ryan caused it.
Yeah, well,
I didn't give you allergies.
Dude, he got me so sick on our trip.
It's not because I was so sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I was dead the last like 2 days.
But as we follow them, they're walking, and Joel's trying. You can tell Joel just wants to cheer her up, and nothing works.
Yeah.
And they have the conversation. Joel's like, "Okay, so we're gonna go into the," and she cuts him off. She's like, "You're gonna go up into the building, get a high rise, and look around, a skyscraper, and look around." And he's like, "Actually, I have dynamite. I thought we'd just blast through it." She's like, "Really?" He's like, "No, but I had you."
Mhm.
I just realized no one probably understood a single word I tried to say right there.
Yeah, you kind of just jumbled a lot of things together.
Did I?
But
And I had the mic down here, which definitely didn't help.
worked out.
But God damn it! Take this one, Ryan.
Take what? Oh, the dynamite? Yeah, Joel's like, "Hey Ellie, I have some dynamite. We're gonna blow this bitch up." And she's like, "Seriously?" And he's like, "Nah." What do you think was better, the puns or that?
The puns.
The puns.
I was loving the puns.
You love those puns.
I have so many good puns that I just used on me and Ryan's 10-hour car ride down to South Carolina.
Dude, your jokes were awful.
They were great.
He kept hyping up this beat. You're gonna say the B joke on here.
You want me to tell the B joke on here?
Yes, he was hyping. Let me just be clear. This is a 9-hour car ride with me and him, and then 2 other people in the back. And at the beginning, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna tell you guys jokes throughout this, but I have one joke. It's a B joke. I'm gonna tell you when we have 3 hours left exactly." And he was counting down the whole time. So go ahead, tell your goddamn B joke.
Let me pause the episode.
No, I want the people to hear this.
Yeah, no, I'm pausing the Last of Us episode.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
Okay.
recording.
So you know the B movie?
Yeah.
You like the B movie?
Yeah.
It's a great movie, right?
Yeah.
So you know how he has a relationship with a woman? So my mom's gonna listen to this episode now. She hasn't listened to one in months, and this is gonna be the one she decides to tune in on. So, what does the bee say when he's about to be done?
What does he say?
Honey, I'm about to comb.
Nice. Nice.
Well, I hyped that up for 7 hours, and that
That's
was
worth the wait.
I got a pity laugh.
I would have been laughing.
I thought it was pretty
I
funny.
don't know. 7-hour wait though.
7 hours, and every hour is like we're 1 hour closer, guys. I was dropping some fire puns.
What other? Do you have any other puns?
Yeah, I do.
or
Why does a cow wear bells?
why?
Because its horn doesn't work. Because cows have horns and a car horn.
Mm,
No,
Nah.
that one didn't land. Well, back to The Last of Us. We see them go. We see them go into an abandoned building, and Joel says, "He's like, it's a shame." He's like, "We dropped bombs on the city, and none of them even hit the building they were trying to destroy." And I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And eventually, he has Ellie. He finds a hole where they can climb up, and he's like, "Ellie, I can give you a boost up there." And he eventually gets her to boost up there. And she sees something, and goes, "Holy shit!" and drops the ladder on Joel.
Yeah. That was
Joel's
funny.
like, "God damn it, Ellie!" And you figure out that they found a giraffe.
Yeah.
And it's a very heartfelt scene. It is literally taken straight from the game.
Mhm.
And
I remember when you sent that video, you were like, "Holy shit, this is awesome! I'm so happy right now."
There's a
Oh, yeah.
fucking giraffe.
It was literally the calm before the storm.
Yeah, this episode gets a little.
But it is such a beautiful moment when they're just both sitting there and Ellie's finally, loosening up a little bit. And so is Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, so I just let you try and speak.
Feel free to cut me off. You're good.
No, I adored the scene after the dress when they go up onto the roof. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Is this everything you've hoped for?" And you can tell he's trying to get her to not go to the hospital.
Yeah.
He doesn't want her to go. He's like, we could just go back to Tommy. And then she explains, she's like, I have to do this. We went through all of this stuff. I need to see this through. And she says, after that, we can go anywhere. We can go to Tommy, Sheep Ranch, the moon. Where would you go out of the three?
I would go to the moon.
How are you going to get there?
I'll figure it out.
Just try and make a homemade rocket.
Yeah,
and that's
well,
what
I
gets
always
you.
want to stay there.
I think I would go find Tommy. Like I told him, I got my
Actually,
brother.
yeah, they have it pretty
They're
good
pretty
in
made
Jackson.
there. They got to watch
Yeah.
like 1940s movies, but I guess that's better than not having a TV at all.
It just seems very cozy there in
It does
Jackson.
seem very cozy.
Yeah.
Damn, that'd be the life. Just in the middle of zombie apocalypse, you're just chilling, having pancakes and shit. Woo. Can you imagine having a pancake after not
actual alcohol too.
Oh my god, just getting fucked up in the zombie apocalypse. Hey, you're going on a scout mission. You're just like stumbling drunk. Every noise would sound like a clicker.
That'd be terrifying.
That would be terrifying. But then they start walking again, and we see them go to an army health site, which is a thing that happens even now. Anytime there's like any disasters or anything, the army sets these up, and it's pretty much where any other branches do it. And he explains like, "Oh, I was in one of these," and he was like, "Oh, with Sarah," and he explained Sarah's already passed away at this point. And you figure out, as he talked about before, he has a scar, and he said that someone shot at him and missed. And he explains that it was him the whole time. He had tried to end his own life, which it's a very emotional scene because he starts. You can tell like it's hard for him to talk about, and he's not very good with sharing his emotions. As we all see throughout the show and through the game. And I love the scene where they talk about pretty much that they're happy to have each other, like that this is something that has made life easier for them. And Joel, of course, to make Ellie happy, he's like, I'm in the mood for some puns. And she tells some great puns that I will be using with Ryan later down the line. On our next road trip, Ryan, I'm going to buy a book just full of puns. And we're going to read every page.
I'm so not excited for this.
Let's drive to California, Ryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What about Florida?
Florida's not terrible.
It's 17 hours.
Oh, God.
17 hours, one car, no stops, and 2 books full of puns. I'm going to buy volume 1 and 2. I'm dedicated to the bit.
Jesus. I'm so not excited.
And as they're walking, telling puns, you see behind them just these soldiers. And they toss pretty much flashbangs at them. Yeah. And they grab Ellie and take her. And Joel's trying to find her, and he gets knocked the fuck out. He gets that Mike Tyson special. Or that Chris Brown special.
Can I also say that scene was shot incredibly because I was so shocked because everything seemed all right, all good, and then just out of nowhere, I don't know how bad that was, but I was a little bit. Yeah, but it's already too late once you realize they're there.
No, I agree. I think it was a really well done sequence.
Yeah.
Like I noticed it. I noticed him like as the guy was pulling the pin, and I just went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, verbally out loud while we're trying to watch the show. He hears, "Oh shit!" But as he wakes up, he notices the firefly symbol, and Marlene's there.
Mm-hmm.
And
she got there fast, dude.
Marlene a bitch. Fuck Marlene. I hate her.
Yeah.
And we'll get to
why
why
they
I
only
hate
have one car.
Oh no, we can talk about it in this scene because this is when they bring it up. And he's trying to find. He just keeps asking, "Where's Ellie? Where's Ellie?" And he's like, "Oh, she's fine." And she explains to him that the doctors are going to try and remove a piece of the cordyceps, what they think is cordyceps inside of her, and take it out and give it out and cure everyone.
Yeah.
But it's not certain that it's going to work.
Because they explain the theory that the surgeon has is that when Ellie was born, that a little bit of cordyceps got in her and into her brain, and then since the cordyceps was in her brain, the virus already assumed that she was infected, so that any new infection wasn't going to infect her.
Yeah.
But that was the idea.
Yeah.
They don't know
That's
for
not, that might
concrete
not even be
fact.
true. How good was this doctor?
I don't know.
Exactly the point. But he figured, he's like, wait, that means you're gonna take a piece of her brain, which will kill her.
Yeah.
And Joel right away is like, no, like, don't do this. And then she goes off on this tangent about, she's like, I made a promise. Bitch, you aren't following the promise. She said, keep her alive and keep her safe.
Yeah.
And you were late killing this girl.
Mhm.
And now you can talk about your Marlene part that you want to bring up.
She just, I already kind of said it. She just gave her straight to Fedra, I guess. Probably. I mean, it seems like Ellie kind of was only in Fedra school, which she hated. And she didn't even know Marlene. So obviously Marlene didn't keep her for long enough for Ellie to remember her. She didn't keep that promise at all.
No, she did not.
She immediately was like, this girl could help us. Let's kill her. Fair
she
deal.
might be able to help us.
Be able to possibly help us a little bit.
Marlene looks like shit, by the way.
Oh yeah, she looks awful.
She looks like she's been through it.
Yeah.
And now I can kind of go into my point, because you see it when Joel steps towards her, he gets hit in the gut with the butt of the rifle. Anyone, this could just be me and my personal preference and what I've seen throughout my military career, but why are all the rifles, the butts are all the way in? It makes the gun, first off, weird looking as hell. Secondly, it can't be comfortable. You're holding it that close to yourself. The stock and everything's going to be right against your shoulder. And it just doesn't look natural. Like, that's not a way you would hold it.
Yeah.
And I get, like, maybe it's just a choice. It's a weird choice, and I don't think it's done the right way. And I tend to, when I'm looking at movies and, like, TV even, with gun work and stuff like that, the show's been pretty good with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been a couple things I've been like, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, like all the guns being on full auto.
Yeah, that's like that, especially in a apocalypse when you're not going to have the largest amount of ammo.
And they make a point of that in episode 3 when he gets the rifle in the beginning.
Drops it. He's like, I don't have any ammo for this.
Not gonna find any bullets.
So why would you have a full auto gun? It's just little things like that. And I know people are like, oh, maybe that gun's only full auto. There's no AR that's only full auto.
Yeah.
You can turn it to semi-automatic. And it's going to do just the same amount of damage as shoot someone with 1.556 if you miss. Because when you're shooting full auto, you're probably only going to hit one or two of the 6 shots, probably.
Yeah.
If you shoot one, you're probably going to hit it because it's where you're aiming. And when you're on full auto, it's like a circle. So then we see that Joel is pretty much told that, like, oh, we're going to bring him to the highway, give him his bag, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And he explains, and she explains, I'm sorry, that she's like, if he tries anything, kill him.
Yeah.
And as they're walking through the hospital, we see him looking at the signs, trying to figure out where Ellie's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And he eventually does figure it out. And he attacks the guys. And it's a really, really well done action sequence. I like the way he grabs the one gun, shoots the guy who's aimed at him, and then worries about the guy who's actually fist fighting.
Yeah.
When you'll see a lot of times, they'll take it, they'll shoot that guy, then turn back. That guy's going to shoot you in that time period. But if you go for that guy first, it at least gives you a chance. But this is where I start to actually have a negative with the show. This is, Anthony, you can correct me if I'm wrong. To me, this is like the highlight action scene.
Yeah.
It's going through this hospital. And in total, the whole scene's 2 minutes in the show.
Yeah.
I feel like if you maybe extend this episode by 10, maybe 15 minutes.
No, I agree.
And let this scene play out very video game, like where you're hiding behind corners, like you're playing, like, because they know you're there. Like,
I think a little bit more tense.
Yeah, a little, like the cutting and continuous scene where it's very cut from one person dying to another.
Yeah.
It took away like the tension of it. It just made Joel seem like this unstoppable force, which I get. Like, maybe that's what they were going for. But at the same time, I feel like it could have been a lot more tense and a lot more thrilling to watch.
I think they were trying to go for that. Joel was just kind of getting tunnel vision in that moment, and he was just like straight on, like he was had to go for Ellie. But I agree. I thought it was done pretty short. I didn't really think, because I mean, Joel's like pretty much like massacring like a whole hospital. Like, that is not good at all, and I don't think they really played that to how much it should be played in the episode.
Do you wanna give your theory?
Well, so as Joel's, going through the hospital, you can see in the hallway someone run off. This could be any random person, but if you know anything about the second game, I think it's a certain character. I don't know if I should say who the
No,
character
don't say the
is,
character's name.
but I
But
think big implications.
yeah, because if you know the game, I think everyone will know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I know who you're talking about. I hope you're wrong though.
Oh, me too.
Because then,
Yeah.
because then it's like if he just did one thing, like he kills
Yeah.
all these people. Why could you just shot the person running away? Yeah, but I do like your point about thinking about it as like tunnel vision to him.
Yeah.
That actually would make a lot of sense. And I like the shot of when they show like the corpses and like, pretty much the massacre that he's left behind.
Hmm.
And that part's really well done. And and once he picks up the pistol, I think it settled back down, and I got back
Yeah.
into it when he walks into the actual surgery room to save Ellie.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, if I was playing this game, all those people in that room were gone. These
Yeah.
people were tying up my girl. I need to save her. But that might just be me.
Yeah, I think the hospital shootout, it was done well, but I think you could have showed more of the action. Like the gunfights that they do show looked really good, but I didn't love the whole just fading in and out of the gunfights. I wish it was more like I don't need like a 10-minute one shot, although that would be fucking sick.
That would have been
But
dope.
but I feel like we could have used more of him going through floor by floor, just taking out all these fireflies. And I think also the fireflies is what I was saying before needed a little maybe like another episode or so. The fireflies throughout the show, I never once you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is in the game too, but I never once got the idea they were good at all. Because all we've seen them do were be terrorists in Boston and then try and kill Ellie.
Yeah.
That's it. Like they were never good guys to me. So Joel killing these guys, it's supposed to be a bad thing because it's just mass murder. But I never saw it as a bad thing because I never liked this organization. So that was just one thing that like I didn't think Joel was really doing. I mean, he was doing a bad thing,
No, he's
but
definitely doing a bad thing, but he was doing it to other bad people.
yeah, to bad people when it could have been more gray and have been like a bad thing to not necessarily good people, but not just straight up villains.
See, that's where I think if he shot the nurses, would have kind of
Mhm.
added to that whole idea of what I talked about earlier, like
Yeah,
him doing bad things where
like
you're kind of
really
like,
bad. Yeah,
fuck, like this is not a good dude.
yeah,
And you get that idea, like what they're trying to portray through even the shootout, because that guy puts down the gun and puts his hands up, and he still shoots him.
Mhm.
But again, another criticism that I've said throughout every review of this, they still cut away from some of the violence. And I get you don't need to make it super gory, like The Walking Dead, over the top violence. But the game, it's a very gory game, especially
Yeah.
even in the second one. So I hope maybe they get a little more into that going forward. But I think I would have liked to see a little more in my face violence because I feel like that again portrays how bad of a dude Joel really is.
Yeah. That might have just been a creative choice too behind the scenes that they might not have wanted to push it all the way with Joel.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case, but I certainly feel like the game definitely it makes you like that was not a good decision that I just made. Like that was not a trying to find a way to word this. I don't know. It definitely the show doesn't portray as bad as it should be. I
Yeah,
would say
no,
they
that
definitely
I agree
softened the
in
blow a
that.
little bit.
And but then when you see Joel finally carrying Ellie out and he sees a car and you think they're going to get away and Marlene shows up, I think this was where this episode found like its true footing.
Mhm.
Like this was where I think they had their best moments. But it's a great sequence between Joel's conversation with Marlene, and she's like, you know that she would make the right choice. She would sacrifice herself for everything. And then back, like as you're watching this, in my head, I was like, damn it, Joel is making the wrong choice. Like Ellie would give himself, and it's selfish by Joel.
Yeah.
He can't bring himself to lose another person, even though Ellie has lost everyone that
Mhm.
she cares about. And
Yeah.
yes, Joel's only lost one person, and that is his daughter, which is a horrible thing. Like I can't imagine losing any family members. But at the same time, he you have to be willing to make the wrong choices. Remember, save who you can save, which has been a major plot of this entire show.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to save Ellie. Ellie wanted this to happen.
Yeah, she was ready for it. She
And
wanted
then-
to finish what they started, but again, yeah, exactly. She didn't know what she was getting into, but at the same time, that's kind of like a question like if Joel told her the truth, how would she take that?
Yeah.
So
which I'm really hoping we get into in the second season.
yeah,
But then eventually you see that he's driving away. You don't know if he gave her back or not. If you ever heard of the games, you know that he gave her back. You didn't. He did not give her back, as there's another game with her in it. But I'm not gonna lie, I would have kind of been down with the whole idea of Ellie kind of making the choice that she doesn't want to die,
Mhm.
and like I would have liked to see maybe her side of things. That's what I'm hoping in the second season we get that.
Yeah.
We figure that out, and eventually you see Joel kill Marlene, and he executed Marlene. Really, he shoots her once,
Yeah.
and she's wounded, and then he just executes her.
But she's like begging for her life too.
Yeah.
That was yeah. But I think what you were saying, like, show Ellie not want to die. Maybe you could have a scene like where not necessarily somebody just straight up tells her what's going to happen. Maybe she looks in like the surgery room before she goes out, and she sees like something that tells her like this, I'm not going to make it out of this, and she gets really scared and starts like screaming or something. And Joel's like,
And Joel hears
"Baby
that or
girl," something like that. Yeah, that would have been.
Oh, that would have.
I mean, it would have been a little corny, but at the same time, it would have been kinda
You
cool.
got me sold. I
It would have been kind of cool.
because then but no, see, if that happens, then I'm fully on Joel's side for what he does in the hospital.
Baby girl,
Boom, boom, just blast.
I'm coming,
I
baby
started
girl.
blasting. That's pretty much what Joel does in this. He pulls the whole Frank scene, but then we see they go on a walk together, and they're trying to get back to Tommy's. And the whole time you can tell that something's not sitting right with Ellie.
Yeah.
Joel's talking about like his daughter and like how they would like each other. And Ellie makes him swear that he's telling the truth because he tells her that the Raiders showed up and attacked and like he barely got her out of there. And he pretty much says he has nothing to do with what happened.
Mm-hmm.
When, as we know, as we just watched, he massacred an entire hospital of people.
Yeah.
It was pretty much the no Russia of The Last of Us. But these people were armed.
Yeah, very armed.
Let's not clarify. These people were bad. Joe still committed war crimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did like that he was going through and picking up different guns though.
Yeah, that was
Like, it
very video
wasn't-
game-esque.
Yeah.
And you never see that in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like people picking up the other guns. Somehow they just have ammo.
Yeah.
Unless it's John Wick, which we'll be reviewing in like 10 days.
So excited for that
So
movie.
excited. But to the final scene of this, we know she says swear, and he says, I'm telling you, he swears to her. He says, I swear.
Swear to me.
Shut up. And yeah, that's the end of the season. It cuts to black.
Yeah.
And this is where I think
Yeah, you don't get it.
Shut up. We're trying to do a podcast. God, we don't go off I don't go off topic the whole episode and you just start going off topic.
He got it. He got the joke.
Shut up. But going to what we talked about when we first finished the episode is that we talked about how they're going to move from here into the second game. When there is a time gap in between. Like she gets older.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard when Bella Ramsey probably won't look much older when the next season comes around.
I mean, she's still younger than us.
Yeah. Well,
By a
she's
few
your
months,
age,
but still.
actually.
She's a few months younger than me.
Maybe, yeah.
So around the same thing.
Yeah. But I think I'm really hoping, because Aunt, you brought this up when we were talking about it, that they maybe take their own creative freedoms with the second season and kind of like do that in between time. Yeah. And it lets us kind of see the fallout of of Joel doing what he did. And I would like for Joel to tell her what he did. And then you have like a whole argument, like there's a fallout kind of between them.
Yeah.
Like I want to see all this. So.
And then maybe season 2, if they do that like in between thing like you're talking about, maybe season 2 ends with, the scene we're all thinking about.
Yeah, she's 6 months younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Wait, what scene? Or the scene like
4?
Yeah, okay. I think that needs to be in the third season. I feel like that's too soon to do it. I love Bella Ramsey. I think she's done a great job.
I think it would be a good lead in to the third season though.
Yeah, maybe at the end.
Then like in the off season, you're hyped up like, dude, this has got to
give
go
Ant
down.
the mic. Get off the mic.
It's so tough because I seriously I have no clue what they're gonna do. My thing is they just wait straight up. Like they don't I don't think a season's gonna come out the next year or two. But the story is there for part 2. I just feel like it's so hard to translate this into a show where you have actors like Bella Ramsey, like she's gonna constantly age, and you can't just. I don't know. I think I really have no clue what they're doing because what you guys are saying, if they take their own creative liberties, you don't want to take away what's already from part two because there is really good parts in that game, and if you even change a little bit, then you're getting rid of a lot. But I just, I don't know. I think whoever is working on HBO, they have a lot of work to do.
Agreed. I think that they need to figure out a smart way of doing it. And if you are gonna try and do what we just said, like an in between, like where you take your own creative freedom, you need to make sure you're not messing anything up for the next part.
Yeah.
Like that in between, there's definitely a story you can tell in there, but if you do certain things, you will change whatever happened in part 2.
Mhm.
So
But I think
I don't
having
think. Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry, but having Neil Druckmann on there to write those, if they do that, write those episodes, I think he would, you know, it would be a help having a guy who wrote the games. So I think it could work.
Yeah. So I mean, Ryan and Ant, what do you guys give the season? Let's do out of 100. What would
Out
you
of
give?
100,
Yeah, what would you give season 1 of The Last of Us? We'll start with Ryan, then we'll go to Ant, then I'll do last.
I think I'll give it like a flat 90,
Okay.
flat 90, 91.
Yeah, I would say definitely around 92 because I did enjoy every episode. I did think it kind of slowed down when it shouldn't have, kind of towards the end of the show. But besides that, I think it was like really great first season of a show. I want to see more. It's pretty much what any first season of a show should do. So
Yeah, if a show ends and you're like, I want to see more, then it's done what it needs to do correctly. And I think that this is probably. I want to say I like the characters of this more than I like House of Dragon characters, which
Hmm.
I know I love House of Dragon, and I think I gave House of Dragon like a 94, maybe, maybe no, I didn't. I
Something like
gave it like
that.
a 91. So I guess this I would probably give like an 89
Yeah.
because I think TV is a lot harder to do to keep a 90 because you have so many hours of story to work with.
Yeah.
So I think maybe if they do a couple things different, maybe lean more into Joel being bad, which I brought up a lot in this episode, especially. But I really, I really genuinely like the show. I think Craig Mazin has done a terrific job, especially when we know video game adaptations do not work.
Yeah.
We've never seen one. We've seen Uncharted, which to me is probably the best one besides this, which is a hot take, I know.
But Uncharted also worked because it just straight up did its own thing. It
Yeah,
wasn't an adaptation of the game. It was
this
just
was video game screen to TV screens.
yeah.
And I think they did a great job with it. And I think bringing Neil Druckmann in, and I think the castings were great. And I knew from the beginning Pedro Pascal was going to do great. I love Pedro Pascal. I think he's great in everything he's ever worked on, except for that superhero weird Netflix movie he did last year. It was very bad, not good. It's like We Are Heroes or something. No, that's a
Oh,
weird.
is that like the Spy Kids one?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was him and the guy from Narcos.
Yeah.
Him and his screen
Yeah,
partner.
what was his name?
That guy's gonna be in
I forget his
Indiana
name.
Jones too.
Yeah. He's a great actor.
Yeah. Not that. But had no worries going into Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Now Bella Ramsey, I laughed a lot at her in Game of Thrones. I was not a huge fan. I think I've talked about this before. I thought she was maybe the wrong choice for that character. Maybe I just didn't like the character, and I know people love her, but I was nervous seeing her play Ellie because Ellie's such a beloved video game character, and it's going to be a hard thing. Ashley Johnson was phenomenal as Ellie. She won Best Voice Actress for it
Yeah.
for the first game. I think she might even won for the second game. But I think Bella Ramsey proved me wrong, and I think she proved a lot of people wrong. And I'm still going to sit with what I say in almost every episode. If you're mean to Bella Ramsey online, go fuck yourself. And Ant, I know you're one of those people, but I don't mean that to you in any way. See, I'll let Ant can say it because Ant has played the first game. He's played a lot of second game. A lot of the people are just saying, going strictly off how she looked. If they've never played the game, like, oh, she doesn't look like that girl at all. And I don't know. I think she proved me wrong. I did not think she was gonna be able to do it. And I think in episode 8 she was good in every episode. I'm not taking away from her performance. I think in episode 8 she brought it all together and she showed that she can play this character.
Hmm. Yeah. I always thought she was a very talented young actress, especially like in Game of Thrones. the character was a little goofy, but at the same time, like for being as young as she was and playing a character in Game of Thrones, she did a really good job. And all the stuff she's done later, I haven't watched much of it, but from what I've heard, she's a really, really talented actress. So I was definitely nervous for her to play Ellie, but I was confident she could do a great job. But watching the show, it solidified that she is a great act. She did a great job. So
Um, yeah, Bella Ramsey definitely had an uphill fighting battle for at least me. I thought when I was first starting it, I wasn't completely sold on her as Ellie. Not like it was not same with Pedro Pascal. Like it was just weird seeing these characters that you're so used to played by other people. But I think episode 5 for me is when I was really sold on her playing Ellie, especially that final scene of that episode when Henry shoots himself, and you can like that was like just her face, just how she portrayed that. Like that is such great acting, and that's when I was like, okay, I can like this is Ellie, and I'm completely fine and content with that.
Yeah, no, I love the season. I think we all really enjoyed the show, and I'm so excited. I know Pedro Pascal said he's like, there's a very high chance that they start filming at the end of this year because they asked him in every, he's like, is there any chance? He's like, and he thought about the months. He's like, yeah, he's like, there's a very high chance I'm filming the second season of Last of Us. But I think that's anything else anyone wants to add before we do our recommendation of the week. I did not post fan questions, so we do not have any fan questions because I am lacking in that department recently.
yeah.
But is there anything you guys want to add?
No, I think it was a great season of television. I think it's fair to say it's the best video game adaptation
Yeah.
ever at this point. Hopefully, there's some good ones coming out, but
Red Dead?
Red Dead would be awesome.
Maybe God of War would be really good.
Hopefully,
That's gonna be that.
yeah.
Yeah,
God
at
of War
Amazon
on
they're doing
Amazon.
that. Now,
Yeah,
who do you cast as
exactly.
Kratos?
Exactly.
That's gonna be crazy. And I think if they put them a solid amount of money into God of War, they have a chance. Because
Yeah.
if the CGI is not
Well,
good,
They put $1 billion in the Lord of the Rings.
yeah, that's what,
No,
yeah,
neither do I.
they're not the best department, but they did the boys. Whoa. And whoa.
No, that's not mean. I like the boys. I don't know if I trust Amazon as much as I do HBO.
Oh no, neither. I think HBO is the best department with television.
Yeah.
They've done what? They have Perry Mason, they have Band of Brothers, they've done True Detectives, Game of Thrones, they've done The Last of Us. I think HBO is probably the best way to go.
They're on a roll right now
They're on a
too.
roll. At Succession, I haven't watched it, but I know how much you got. Barry, which we know we're getting soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, going from this, what is your guys' recommendations for everyone to go watch? You can take one of the two I've said.
All right,
I have
I'll
a new
take
one in my
Barry.
head.
I think I've said it before, but I'll take Barry again. Season 2 is coming out, or season 4, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's coming out April 16th. So if you're not caught up on it, watch it because it's nice, brisk, 8 30-minute episodes, and it's phenomenal.
And it's one of the best episodes of television of all time.
Lily and Ronnie is so good.
The one episode too with I forget the name when Barry's on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
That's really which
Oh
one?
yeah.
That's a good episode too. That whole show is great. I was thinking Barry, but I'm also gonna say Succession just because it's coming out soon. I think Succession's probably the best show currently coming out right now. It's the best drama. If you're not watching it now, definitely start it.
I like how you
Just so you
looked me
can
dead in the eye. You're like, if you haven't watched it,
just so you can get caught up because I do think it's a really I put in the same vein as Sopranos, The Wire, any other the HBO grades. Same with Last of Us. I don't know if I'd add that too, but I think Last of Us has potential to get up there. But I would definitely say watch Succession. That is my recommendation.
I'm gonna take a different approach on my. Everyone, you guys have said shows that are coming out. I'm gonna say a show that is currently airing right
Yeah.
now, and that is The Mandalorian season 3. So, IGN gave the second episode a 5, which Ryan showed me, and I was not feeling it.
5 out of 10.
Yeah, but I went and watched it, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's too dark. You can't see anything." There's nothing wrong with the lighting. He is in a cave. It's supposed to be dark,
Yeah.
and you can tell what's happening. Did you watch it? Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I really enjoyed myself.
Better than the first one by a lot.
Yes, thank you. And I really enjoyed it, so I'm super excited. I love the show. I think Pedro Pascal is great, and they've taken the violence to like a much more adult level this season so far, and maybe it's not like gory or anything, but like there's a little more like oomph to the punches, the shooting, the
Yeah.
stabs, all that. So I'm very excited to keep watching. It comes out every Wednesday and is on Disney Plus. And now Ryan, give the mic back to Anthony. It's the end of the episode. You gotta go to him.
Yeah.
Anthony, would you like to plug your Instagram, your TikTok if you have one?
Yeah, my Instagram is
Yeah, your OnlyFans if you have one.
well, that's under wraps right now. That's currently being worked on. But Anthony Roussis. I don't know if my name is already on the thing, but underscore. That's my Instagram. Not on social media a lot, but yeah. Thank you guys for having me on. It was fun. I was nervous as hell before, but yeah. Thank you guys. It was a great time.
No, I had a blast. I think I think it was a really good episode.
We went way over. I'm sorry about that if ramble on a bit much, but
I think the whole cannibal bit might have done us in for
yeah.
for like 8 minutes. But no, I had a blast, and you are welcome back
Oh, thank you.
anytime. Especially when The Last of Us season 2 comes out, whenever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else? Oh yeah, Ryan, do you wanna plug anything?
No.
No, okay.
No,
Well,
I don't want to play anything.
Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We actually have a lot of shit going on right now with the show. We have our final 5 actors for our short film. We're down to 5.
Yeah.
And we are going to make a decision soon. I have my favorite. Ryan has his favorite. And we just got to figure it out in between. We are going on 3 separate podcasts this month.
Yeah.
So we have some work to do there. We are going to do a Pirates of the Caribbean episode this month. Very exciting with our editor.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to rank the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. That means me and Ryan have to rewatch them, which could be nice. We have Shazam. We have Scream. We have John Wick. So we have a lot coming up this month. It's a very exciting month. We got a lot to choose from. We are going to probably do reviews of all of this. Shazam and Scream, I think, will probably be our next review, and I think we'll do that in one sitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. Continue rating the show and continue checking us out on TikTok. We've had 3 straight videos over 1,000 views, which has been pretty cool. And yeah, we've had a blast. And you were a very great guest. We had a lot of fun. And Ryan, what do you want to leave everyone with before we get going?
Listen, Succession and Barry coming out. Last of Us is very good. And if you haven't watched Game of Thrones yet, you should probably get on that. Just let you know. That's pretty much it. See ya.